All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go. We are live. 401 Sports World Network, triple option, Sunday morning. Brooks, the showcase in the house with Mr. 411. What's up, Brooks?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
It's been a minute, man.
I know, man. No, man. Triumphant return.
Yeah, there you go. Great timing. Your dogs are 2-0.
Yeah.
So we can kick things off, man. You can just catch us up with UVA football, man. What you liking thus far, or things you see your team got to work on.
Yeah. I preface this. We played some, two cupcake opponents. I mean, I think Marshall might be one of the worst teams in, in the league. So Austin P actually played pretty well yesterday. I don't know much about them, but they were
Yeah,
solid, including including a goal line stand in the second quarter. That was interesting. But yeah, I mean, my first impression, obviously, a lot of people are going to talk about the quarterback, right, Gunnar Stockton, and he's a better runner than I thought he was. And
yeah,
I think many people, he's very shifty and he's got a burst. I will say, like his running style, uh, you know, if you look at it through the first two games, he's taking some hits, man, and I'm just wondering, is that going to come back to haunt him? Doesn't slide. Um, he's a really tough quarterback. I don't know if he can last the season taking the hit. He took a big one up. He ran up the middle and took a big one into his kind of rib area yesterday. Um, so I'm a little worried about that. I didn't think throwing wise, he didn't seem like he saw the field well yesterday. His timing was a little off. I was seeing open receivers that he missed, or open receivers where they were open and he got him the ball too late. Those type of things. So we'll see. And this week coming up is going to be a test for him. It's going to Tennessee, his first like true road game. So this is going to be interesting. I will say defense has been solid. We haven't given up a touchdown yet. No, really no complaints there. They've done what they needed to do. They got an interception yesterday. Um, they look stout so far. It seems like we're running the ball. One of the knocks on last year's teams, we just didn't run the ball very well, right? Like a UGA team, you would think UGA is known for their running backs and their hard nosed run game. We've gotten back to that. Frazier again, fumbles have hurt him, and he fumbled yesterday. That was kind of a killer. Um, but yeah, I think the stuff with running backs. I believe his name's I want to say Robinson. Um, he looks really fast. Uh, that's Phillips, Dwight Phillips Jr. And Bowens both got. I think that Bowens had two scores yesterday. They both got a bunch of carries. Nate Frazier still led the way with 14, but I like what I see from those two freshmen. Bowens is a very physical runner, but still shifty for his size. And Phillips is just a burner. So I'm interested if they kind of use him in that James Cook role. But yeah, Branch, the top transfer receiver they got. He didn't really do much yesterday, but he looked good the first game. So we'll see. Um, but yeah, so far, I mean, yes, uninspiring win yesterday, but I mean, as you know, college football, it's hard for teams to get up for these games. And two games in a row like that with the weather delay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to overreact about this game. I know some people wanted us to win more impressively, but these games are really hard to get up for. And you can see Kirby in the sideline; he was pretty fiery yesterday. But that's just the bottom line. I mean, these are young college kids. It's hard to motivate them for these games. So I'm gonna look forward to. We'll see what we got in the Tennessee game. That'll be our first test. So
yeah. And some of the things we're gonna talk about it more today. But this type of scheduling that goes on in college football, uh, just like this particular week in itself, and then there's probably another week in there where it's going to be a lot of matchups like this. Um, we'll talk about more about why, but yeah, I mean, I guess you have to just kind of wait and see with your team right now because because of the two opponents starting off, it's going to be a tough gauge. But I guess we'll get to see more about Stockton against Tennessee, on the road. And we'll have a better gauge then. And maybe that's why your schedule was the way it is, so, as far as to kind of get some things out the way before you play, a more challenging opponent. TB's in the building. What's up, man?
What's going on, buddy?
All right. What's up? We got Brooks in the house. We were just talking about, we opened up talking about UGA, especially since he follows them real close. But yeah, we just getting the party started, T. So welcome to the show.
Yeah. What's called,
All right.
man? I'm gonna let you know that them weather delays is real, dog. You see what happened Thursday night?
Oh man, yeah, your Cowboys, right? Your Cowboys
Yeah.
and the Eagles. Hey man, hey look, we're gonna have a show for that, man, because we gotta talk about that. And we got Brooks Falcons, got my Seahawks going today. Your Cowboys played the other day, Philly Red Zone Eagles. So we'll dive into that. Yeah, but the weather delays, man. There was another one too with South Carolina State and at South Carolina last night. There was a weather delay there too. But hey, and don't forget Mercer, first game of the season, right? They had a game that was called
Cancel.
no contest.
Yeah.
Due to weather. Yeah. But yeah, man. How about we do this, guys? We talked about Brooks' team, Georgia, a little bit. You want to chime in on Georgia, and then we'll shift to Alabama.
Nah, I don't need to chime in on Georgia. Georgia gonna beat Georgia. They gonna beat up on Tennessee head next week. So Tennessee looking good. Well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got the Alabama. Okay. We last week we know about the loss against Florida State, and Brooks, we didn't get to hear your thoughts on that. Just quickly, what you thought about last week with Alabama? Do you think it was more so them or more so Florida State revamping their roster?
I mean, probably a little bit of both. Definitely a little bit of both. Florida State had again, a lot of this especially with college is it's emotion, it's motivation. Florida State had more motivation coming into that game than Alabama did, especially after that after that really dreadful season they had. They had something to prove. So I think the motivation was there on Florida State side. It looks like Alabama may have underestimated Florida State a little bit. Everybody got kind of broke down clips of the lack of hustle from that game. So yeah, and Ty Simpson, he was fine. But I mean, the quarterback from Florida State was really impressive to me. He was mobile, and it takes a lot to come out there and smack talk Alabama and then back it up. So I mean, that was good. I mean, good on him. But I mean, in this age of college football, 12-team playoffs, I mean, you can lose a game, especially lose your first one. Um, Alabama's probably. I think they'll be fine. They'll pick the pieces back up. So. But like I said, I think Florida State had a little bit more motivation coming into the season, and I think Alabama kind of overlooked them. This usually has been, I think we've seen this game a lot early in the season. It seems like Alabama and Florida State play every year. Alabama's been handling them, so yeah, good on Florida State. I mean, the league's better when a team like Florida State, a traditional power, is relevant. So
Yeah, and also they usually play like neutral site type games, and this one was actually at Florida State, and that probably added to the mix too. But TB, I know those your boys Bama, so you want to get us updated on
Yeah,
Bama thus
man.
far?
It's just a big overreaction. Just like Nick said, you can get $20 million of boo boo, and then you can get $20 million of good players, and that's all it was. Like I say, Florida State looking good right now. We have to judge them off their next big contest. You know what I'm saying? It it uh, Bama was unmotivated, man. They was unmotivated, but Nick would have never had them unmotivated. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I mean it's a difference. I mean once you have a coach like that, and anything that follows is not going to be exact. You know what I'm saying? Unless you bring in another legendary coach. You know what I'm saying? I kind of think to the Lakers having Phil Jackson, and then after having Phil Jackson, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be hard to kind of fill those shoes. You know what I'm saying? You got to find another Phil Jackson,
yeah,
or
I was listening
Popovich
to a
had to
lot
come
of
along.
Yeah, I was listening. There's been a lot of talk about, I don't think Kalen DeBoer. I don't think anybody thinks Kalen DeBoer's a bad coach, but there is this question of fit.
Hmm.
Especially coming from the West Coast to a SEC school. I mean, you got to talk about fit. Like when many people think of like Brian Kelly as a good coach, but he doesn't fit LSU. I mean, that could change this year. But there's this question of whether he fits that culture or not. And I think that's an interesting thing.
Yeah, yeah, Brooks. I was finna say the same thing. Those guys are still playing Pac-12 ball. This is SEC, baby. This is the best conference in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's just fit. You gotta not hiring's not only about finding a good coach, but a coach that fits that fits your culture, that fits your style of play, your conference, or whatnot. So, it may find out into this season, or it may come season down the road, it just wasn't a good fit. But I think he's a
Yep.
good coach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, oh, go ahead,
I,
T.
I thought they should have tried to probably pluck Georgia defensive coordinator away from them since he know the SEC. You know what I'm saying? Defense is our calling card, and you know what I'm saying.
Hmm.
I don't mind the
Yeah,
offense, but defensive wise, that 4-2-5, I don't like it.
yeah,
Yeah, man. I'm just wonder who the decision makers were in Alabama, who why they made that choice. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Were they riding the rave of how he had the success with out west or with Cam? Did he coach Cam Ward too?
nah,
Oh,
he
somebody out there.
Penix.
No,
He
Penix.
coached.
It
He
was
coached
Penix.
Penix.
Yeah,
yeah,
Penix.
yeah.
Excuse me.
I
Yeah.
said I don't mind the offense, but the thing
Hmm.
is, man, you don't have players to run 4-2-5. You have players that were designed to run what was ran. So you know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
know, 4-2-5. You're probably looking at probably at least 2 more years till you get the players in there that run the 4-2-5. Because traditionally, Bama have big linebackers. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Hmm.
Uh, like I said, Lawson ain't playing up to his what's called yet. He coming out that knee injury. He ain't making no impact. Then you ain't got nobody coming off the edge. You gotta have somebody coming off the edge, man.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, Alabama was ranked number 8 or 9 at that time, right? Opening the season, they fall all the way to 21. Florida State, I think, came in ranked around the top 15, somewhere in there, 14, 13. Like, was that? We're diving into the polls and rankings right now, but
Yeah.
I mean, was that too much of a drastic drop? I mean, thinking about the type of roster Florida State had, they brought the quarterback in that was tearing it up at Boston College, who actually beat Florida State. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, but
Before, so was that
the
too big
thing
of a
about
drop though?
the thing about it though, 411, that guy got
Hmm.
benched. That guy got benched at Boston College. Even though he beat Florida State last year, he also got benched for like
Hmm.
last 6 games. So Florida State, man, it's just everybody don't want to discuss this, man. It was Gus, man. Who done gave Bama the most problems over the last so many years? Been Gus Malzahn.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, Gus
Wow.
Malzahn, not a good head coach, but you give him
He
just that
he a hell
offensive
of an offensive
coordinator
coordinator
role.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you give him that offensive coordinator role, he's really up there as far as offensive minds. So
Yeah. All right. What's our take right now on the top five? Now going into yesterday, I believe top five was Miami at 5, Georgia at 4, LSU 3, Penn State 2, Ohio State 1. Going in, were you guys good with that top five?
yeah, that was fine.
yeah, yeah,
I ain't so much sold on LSU. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because when trouble come around, Brian Kelly gonna throw somebody up under the bus.
I mean,
Well,
you give props to the people who had the biggest, week one wins. Ohio State beating Texas, of course. LSU had a good win over Notre Dame. Miami beat. Forgot who Miami
Well,
played, but they
no, Miami over Notre Dame. You right. You said
Miami
Miami.
over Notre. Yeah,
Yeah,
Miami over Notre. LSU beat somebody too. So they had
yeah,
like the biggest.
at
They had
Clemson.
the biggest. Yeah, they beat Clemson, so they had the biggest wins. So I don't mind. I don't mind them being up there. Um, I think Nussmeier is one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and he looked really good against Clemson. So um, Carson Beck looked good against Notre Dame. Penn State's got their quarterback too. So it's very, I look at this from just, the main position, the quarterback position, and those, Penn State, LSU, Miami, they got some of the best ones. So, and again, like I said, they had the biggest week one win. So I'm good with it.
Okay, you guys good with Texas dropping to 6?
It was fine. It was a 14-7 game. I mean, and they played at Ohio State, so no, I ain't got no
Yeah.
problem with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it was at Ohio State. I mean, Arch Manning, he was bad. I'm not gonna say he wasn't bad. He was really bad. I don't know what I thought. It doesn't like he was stepping into his throws, man. I know his throws had zip on it the other day. So maybe it
Well,
was just like nervousness, his feet, but it didn't like he was getting behind his throws. I thought he had a bigger arm than that, but again, that could have been just some week one jitters. I mean, tough place to open up, so not gonna
well,
Right.
overreact on him.
Brooks, you hit on something, man. I was looking at the game yesterday, man.
Hmm.
His throwing motion is trash, man.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
got to put it. He got to put his whole body in to get power. And if you don't let him step up, that's when he get in
hmm,
trouble.
yeah.
He he he, he,
Not.
he he got generational size, but he ain't got generation talent.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't watch much of San Jose State, Texas yesterday. I
Yeah.
saw some I saw some highlights, but yeah, I'm like you. His arm strength wasn't very impressive. Obviously, he's got size. I don't know. So part of me is thinking maybe that name's carrying a lot of weight with him because he
It
didn't
is
come. You look at some of his high school highlights. He wasn't in the most competitive of divisions in high school ball, man.
Hey,
He looked
hey,
like he was running around with like little league opponents,
yeah, and
man.
then
So,
he got blew out in the state championship game. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So I mean, part of me wonders if he's going to be a little bit overrated, and part of me also says, "Hey, you went there for 2 years. You had Quinn Ewers above you, and you couldn't beat him out." Quinn
Right,
Ewers,
right.
I think Quinn Ewers got cut from an NFL roster. I don't even know if he's on an NFL roster. So, you know,
Yeah. Ewens is over there in Miami now. He's waiting for Tua to get injured. And then he'll
well,
get his
that's,
chance
that's a good
to get
bet.
on the field. But yeah, so that I mean, y'all slid right into the next topic. There was about Texas. That's why I brought him up about Arch. And I watched some of the went back during the week and watched some film of him, and he made some throws that were amazing. Like there was a couple, like there was one touchdown. I know we talked about it last week. There was a touchdown throw that I mean the receiver just dropped that one. Like it was put right there in the back of the end zone, and he dropped it. Now that doesn't uh overtake all the bad throws he had too, because he missed a lot of them, especially that one play where the running back or the receiver was running across the field, and all he had to do was lead him and hit him, and that guy would have broke one down the field for a long
Mhm.
one. It might have even been a touchdown, but he just threw it behind him. Timing was way off. He does have strength. I think he's a very good quarterback, and then in this NIL era, you guys mentioned his name. His namesake is going to carry weight. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to put him in a box that he probably isn't ready for yet, as far as a quarterback and development stage. But in this NIL era, man, like Texas, what gave him the money, right? Gave him the bag, and other schools were trying to recruit him. So I think it's just going to be a wait and see with him. But he's in a situation where this is one of the top teams in the country and got some of the best players in the nation on the team. So he's in a stacked situation. Um, I mean, he's in a good situation. I mean, you just don't blow it. You
Yeah,
play better. You play above average. You should be okay.
yeah. You gotta look at this here 2-4-1-1.
Yeah.
They gave him a bag, but most of his money came off NIL. That
Mm-hmm.
Manning name.
Yeah.
You know, people want to be attached to that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's the reason why you a 2-year player and you had yet to start, and you was making a second most money behind Shador.
Right. Which is
Yeah,
another
so
name.
yeah.
And so okay, so as far as Arch is concerned, are we saying that he's not a generational talent?
I don't see it yet.
I don't see it either. Not yet. I don't see it. I see that he's a talented player, but I'm not generational talent.
Hey, but just
Yeah,
think, I was thinking about this the other day. Peyton had generational size, but Peyton didn't have a great arm. But
No,
but his film study and all that preparation what made him great.
correct. And that's why I would put Peyton in that situation because I think Peyton, when you mix all the ingredients, you know what I'm saying? I see an elite quarterback. You know what I mean?
for
Like,
sure.
you know what I'm saying? So that's the difference, definitely a difference between him and Arch and many others. But Arch doesn't have that Peyton Manning computer, if you will.
Yeah,
So, you know what I'm
he ain't
saying?
got
And I
that. He ain't got that big head for nothing.
think yeah, you're right. So yeah, and to me, when you say generational talent, I like to put all the ingredients in there, not just the physical, but or the ability to jump or run or throw, throw a certain distance, but just combining everything. You know, that computer from Peyton Manning, made everything else work. And so, yeah, Arch is. I think he's ways off. Luckily, he was born at the right time, as Charles Barkley always says
Yeah, and
about.
then I'm gonna tell you, I I saw a generational talent Friday night, and he played like he just don't have the fire, and that's Herbert, man. I've been sleeping on Herbert,
Man,
man. He ate
yeah,
Kansas City lunch, man.
yeah, Herbert. And speaking of Herbert, the Oregon Ducks. I mean, we haven't even talked about Oregon, and I don't think the national media has talked about Oregon. They're kind of lurking
Hey,
right outside the top five.
hey,
Should people pay more attention to Oregon, or is it just
no,
the same old?
no, no. Hey, man, they played Oklahoma State. They might as well been playing Florida A&M yesterday.
Oh man,
Oklahoma State
Yeah.
wow,
they ain't got nothing.
wow,
And and they were and Coach Gundy shit talk Oregon before the game. Come on, man.
Yeah, right.
I didn't need. Well, man, you're 28.5 point dogs, man. You don't need to give them any more fuel. So
And then I didn't know that the old guy had died, T. Boone Pickens. So they ain't getting that money like they used to get. You know, he was putting out
yeah,
he got money like Jerry Jones, and he died. And they
yes.
said that the family ain't donating to Oklahoma State like that no more. The Oklahoma State was keeping a good talent out there, man.
Oh yeah,
yeah, yeah, money talks.
Yeah.
yeah. That's the
Okay.
big boost. That's the big booster of Blues for sure.
Yeah. And speaking of that, right? Boosters, money, have and have nots. We had a lot of have versus the have nots this week in college football.
For sure.
Grambling 0-70 against Ohio State. Um, and the list goes on and on and on, right? It was a lot of games like that that were going on this week. You mentioned that Georgia played Austin P and just some. We can just go through all of it. It's enough of them. People know. How do you guys feel about those type of matchups in college football, or should teams just kind of schedule uh, more within their level, if you will?
They got to, man, because that's not aesthetically pleasing, man, to see no game like that, man. What what if what's called if Grambling wanted to play somebody, why they didn't just stay at home and play McNeese State or somebody? You see what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah.
That'd have been more of a competitive game. I don't know how much more competitive it would have been, but it would have been. It wouldn't have been like that.
Yeah. And then also
And
like Ohio State, instead of playing Grambling, play what's the worst team in the SEC? You know what I'm saying? Play whoever's down at the bottom of the SEC that week. At
But
least you're playing.
they could have stayed at home and played Ohio. Ohio beat West Virginia yesterday. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and that's what we're getting at here in the conversation. Like should the scheduling not be so lopsided for two or three of your games during the season?
Man, you need to really you need to really force them guys to play somebody, man. At least a MAC team or something.
Yeah, because to me, like you schedule an FCS opponent, right? There's a major difference between FCS and FBS. When it comes to scholarships and size of school and the budgets and all that stuff, it's just drastically different. It's not even the casual fan may just say they see two football teams out there, but those who understand know that there's
It's
major levels
levels.
to it. Yeah,
It's
there's major
levels.
levels to it. And
yeah,
therefore a team comes in with all 3 stars going up against a team, 3 and 2 stars, and then you got teams that they're playing got 5, 4, loaded with 4 and 5 stars. And some 4 stars can't even get on the field because the team is so stacked. It's just not nowhere near any type of level competition. But Brooks, you was about to say something?
no, I mean, it's. I heard. I mean, this was. I heard this topic was on some of the making like local sports news this week, about the Georgia games, and it's gonna hurt. I mean, it's gonna hurt the bottom line. These people are gonna, these type of games and their blowouts by halftime. People are gonna leave early. People aren't gonna spend money on the concession stands in the second half. You're gonna have empty stadiums,
Yeah.
and to me, I mean, Kirby kind of hit it on it about fans staying the whole game. Well, I mean, who wants to watch that shit? Like, I'm sorry, like I'm a diehard Georgia fan, but man,
Yeah.
you beating the shit out of Marshall by 50 points. I don't want to watch that shit anymore. I'd rather go home and watch a better game.
Yeah.
And I want to know. I would like to see this trend because I was looking at the week 1 games and this one popped on. It was Mississippi State at Southern Miss, and I was looking at it and I was like, they're at Southern Miss.
Yeah.
Like,
Right, right.
why don't you do more of this? If you want to like play some of these opponents, go play them at their town. Like,
Yeah.
actually get a road environment. It'll be the biggest game on that campus in years. Like, you get a road environment, you don't get the best competition, but at least you get that road atmosphere. I mean, I'd rather see that.
You know what?
The
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
But I mean, these
I
teams
like
aren't
that.
gonna. I mean, I don't think these teams are gonna risk like getting upset on the road like that. But I mean, I think it's a good idea. Because I mean, these
Hey,
games just aren't watchable. The fans aren't going to stay long. And it's just not a good product. And I get, there's some aspects to it that are probably beneficial. A young quarterback, for example, you don't want to get in, you know, prevents injuries. You get to play more people. You get to play some of your second string and third strings. There's obviously positives to it. Um,
Hmm.
but it's just not. Bottom line, I mean, college football is becoming a business like any other. It's not a good product. It's not a good product.
yeah, I thought what you call game was interesting last night. Mississippi State and Arizona State. It was from what I saw on the TV. It was hyped up. You know what I'm saying? And then you think about Mississippi State, the bottom of the SEC.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and beat a top 15 opponent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then that's what I'm saying. Like, oh,
they
go
had
ahead.
them
Go ahead.
on. They had them on the road though. You know what I'm saying? And they went out to Arizona State last year and played a good game. That lets you know the bottom of the SEC can
Mm.
can hang with most of these teams out here for real.
Yeah, that was kind of my big takeaway from yesterday. Vanderbilt doubled up Virginia Tech. This Oklahoma team who was in the bottom of the SEC beat Michigan. You talked about that Mississippi State game, and these are bottom tier SEC teams, at least for according to last year. So coming into this year, I mean that was interesting that they got those. They got some pretty impressive wins. Following a week where a lot of our big name teams lost. So
Yeah. I don't know if you
and
guys able to, are you guys able to see that graphic That's a budget. You know what I'm saying? That's the football budget. Ohio State compared to Grambling State. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? Like, this is it, there's tons of other teams that could have played. Now, I like your idea there, Brooks. Maybe flip the game then. Just play it at Grambling.
Yeah.
You know, and then that not only do you pay Grambling, I think they paid them 500, 600 grand to go play them, which would definitely do wonders for their budget, and it doesn't put any kind of dent in Ohio State's budget. But also pay them, and then go to them, and then you know pack that gate out and do everything there that generates revenue for that moment too. So at least if you're gonna do it, at least invert it. At least invert it and play that game on the road. But I mean,
That's all they
Yeah.
paid him was 600 grand.
yeah, and
Man,
that's the other.
ain't no way in hell I take that type of beating for no 600 grand, and I got to
Well,
bring my band too.
and see, that's the other thing too. Like a lot of these teams need to demand more money. South Carolina State played at South Carolina last night. Fell short 38-10. Same situation, FCS versus FBS, and they paid South Carolina State 500 grand. If I was South Carolina State, I wouldn't go under $1 million. It's got to be $1 million up. That's just the floor, $1 million. Even I know they're only 30 miles, 40 miles apart, but you need to pay that school more than that, man. Especially with the budgets that those schools are working with. But yeah, that's what we're looking at, and college football needs to really look into this and change this up. I think that COVID season, remember that COVID year, guys, where they just played within their conference that year, I believe. So
Yeah, right.
your warm up game was, for example, it might have been Georgia and Mississippi State. That was your Marshall game. So I think that would make the season even more interesting. And when you add all these playoff teams, it doesn't eliminate you if you lose a game out of that somewhere in there.
Right.
You still likely make the playoff with all the teams that's allowed to get in now.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think the SEC should go to 9 conference games? I think they should.
I'm here for it.
You know, if a loss ain't gonna hurt you, go to 9 conference games, because Nick Saban been advocating for that. You know what I'm saying? But then also Bama always play a out of conference team, a big name usually. You
Yeah.
know, like for a kickoff, at a neutral site.
Right. And they'll at least play Oklahoma State or some name like that. They may not be at the top of that league, but they're, you know what I'm saying? At least you're playing a like type of opponent as far as players on the field. But yeah, Bruce, what you think, man? You
Yeah,
think
I think this goes back to, the push. I think a lot of, if you're going to tell, a lot of these schools, hey, you need to schedule better opponents, or you know what they're going to want? They're going to want strength of schedule to be a bigger factor in the playoff committee rankings. So that's the motivation that they're going to need, right? They're going to need to see that strength of schedule is a big, big factor in the college football rankings. You give them that, then that's when you can get some better non-conference games. I think they're just not going to do it. You can cry about it all you want, but if people keep scheduling these games and keep getting into the playoffs, they don't have any incentive to stop. Because
right?
that's basically the bottom line. So, make it. I'd be like, hey, if you don't schedule, if you schedule, an FCS school, that doesn't count on your ranking. That doesn't count in your record, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Do something like that. Like you don't get a win.
There you go.
Basically, is an exhibition game, or make it. Strength of schedule can work both ways. You schedule an FCS team, like really hit their strength of schedule, like
Yeah.
market, hit it hard. You only get, it's a short season. So
Right.
But
it's gotta come from that though. I think that's how you're gonna get the better games. That you gotta connect it back to the college football playoff. I think.
Yeah.
if you're gonna play LBS, it got to be somebody in their top 25. Well, we'll say in their top 50. It
Mhm.
can't
Yeah,
be no. It
yeah,
can't be
sure,
no. Yeah, it can't be no Grambling. You know, it got to be.
right.
Even though you know what they got to do, they got to start allocating more money for those schools like that to sustain they athletic programs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to do that.
Well,
It's too much money out there for this bullshit.
Yeah.
and to go back to if you switched it and big name teams started going there, I mean, you may not even have to pay them.
Right,
It would
right.
increase their gate, their concessions. All the places and bars around it probably be
Sold
flooded
out.
with actually like with the fans coming from wherever they're coming from. And like I don't know, you might could just justify that and say, hey, we don't have to pay you, we'll come to you, and that should be enough to boost your sales. So
Look, Ohio State at Mercer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know, that would be something, wouldn't it? You know what I'm saying, for the city.
I mean, they probably wouldn't be able to hold it unless they took it to the NFL stadium or something like that. But still, something, man.
yeah, it'd
Well,
just
hey,
be it would be a better product. I'd tune in to watch these big schools at a smaller school stadium packed out. I mean, that'd
yeah.
be better TV than watching a half empty Stanford Stadium as we beat Marshall by 30. Like I don't watch that shit.
Yeah.
Right,
And
right.
like, you know what I'm saying? Because then this, like you say, the stadium is a lot smaller, even though it's a nice one. But hey, now you can sell the game. Like, hey, you could buy the game.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? If you can't get in, you can buy the game. But like, and then like
yeah.
you were saying, also about the surrounding sports, bars and places like that. You can find what that'll be a different look, and I think that'd be much better. And then having teams travel all over the place to get it handed to them across the board. Now, there were a couple times where it sort of kind of backfired. Like, I believe what Army won yesterday, they were paid. I think they were paid $1 million by Kansas State. So, hey, maybe Kansas State is the team that FCS opponents need to schedule because, look, they paid Army $1 million and lost to Army.
But
Yeah.
why would you have to pay Army $1 million? That's the United States Army still now.
I got it. I get it. Kansas State forked up the money. I don't understand how Ohio State gets away with only spending that kind of money. To host. And
Yeah,
then
yeah. I'm like, yo, anything less than $1 million, that don't seem worth it for
it doesn't seem worth it, man. It's
getting
not
your
worth
ass beat like
Y'all,
that,
y'all,
man.
y'all, y'all talking about $1 million. The minimum I would have to pay them is at least to come get my head beat in, get my best players hurt. Okay,
Yeah, that
give me
too.
you gonna give me two and a half to $3 million. That'll really help out my program.
You know what? There you go. I'm good with that. I'm good with
Yeah,
that too.
six
You know
six
what I'm
hundred
saying?
thousand dollars ain't gonna help me out.
Nope, it's not. It's gonna cost you that just to get there.
Right.
Yep. So I don't know, man. But that's where we are right now, and I think some of the divisions, some of the conferences need to get together and stand firm on that. Just say, hey, we're not going to be your practice game. We're just not going to do it. Not for that money. We'll just play each other more. So go from there. All right, gentlemen. Leading up to next week, let's see. There's some games on the docket. Any of them catch your eye for week 3? You got Clemson and
Georgia, Tennessee, number one for me because I need to see what kind of team Tennessee got.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Georgia, Tennessee for sure. Um, you know, Florida LSU's got the night game on ABC.
Oh
That'll be
yeah, I
shit.
forgot about that one. Two
Florida.
good ones.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I'm not gonna lie.
Were you shocked at the loss?
I walked into week 2 and I saw the line after watching South Florida handle Boise State,
Yeah.
and they were 18-point underdogs. I was like, I saw they may not win, but they're going to keep it
They
close,
go.
and they did. I think South Florida's a good team. And they need to be this ranking. They need to be top 15. I mean, who's had 2 better
Hey,
wins?
they gave us trouble last year. They gave
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Alabama trouble last year.
Yeah.
yeah.
South
I
Florida
mean,
Bulls are tough. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they should be. They got two really impressive wins. So Florida really needs to. This is an important game for Florida. They really need to bounce back. I think you know. I don't know that. I think it's coaching there too, man. I just don't know. I just don't know if the guy there. I don't know if he's it, man. So because I think they got a pretty good roster, and I think they got a good quarterback. Some of their play calling yesterday was terrible. So we'll see. They need to bounce back. You got Notre Dame and Texas A&M too. That'll be an interesting one. Notre Dame needs to bounce back. So there's some good games in week 3.
Yeah, yeah, Texas A&M and Notre Dame. Yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on that one to see if Notre Dame is gonna be legit or not. Oh, Clemson at Georgia Tech. What
Oh
about
yeah,
that one?
That'll be a good one. Cause Georgia
Okay.
Tech,
yeah,
they gonna run the ball.
yeah. Troy was up 16-3 in that game
I know it.
yesterday.
They
uh,
play like they play like they played against Troy. They gonna get that. They gonna get that second loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming into the season, I didn't, I didn't know what to expect from March Manning. He was obviously a little bit probably overhyped, but Klubnik from Clemson's up there with me. I've yet to see him. He's doesn't. He's not a. He's a little bit overhyped as well. Coming into
Yeah,
the season, they were just. He was a top 5 quarterback in the draft. And I just have never seen it from him. I'll be honest, just haven't seen it.
Brooks. Hey Brooks. All these guys that they hyping up talking about this gonna be a good quarterback draft is not it. Cause that boy
No.
from Penn State, Drew Allen, is not it.
Mm.
Yeah, they haven't played anybody yet either. But we'll wait and see on them. But yeah, I agree. I mean, there's been a few quarterbacks I think they're a little bit overhyped.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then you got to think.
TD.
I
Go
think about
get the
this.
call, TD.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say all of them got the measurables, and that's all. These
I
quarterbacks, they got the measurables. I hadn't seen no say number one pick. I hadn't seen one yet.
Yeah.
I like the guy from South Carolina, Sellers. To be honest
Oh
with
yeah,
you,
I like Sellers. I like Sellers.
I think
Yeah.
he's been impressive so far. Like I said, I like the guy from LSU as well, Nussmeyer. Those probably be my top 2 right now. I like both of them.
Move. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see.
the boy from LSU. You know his dad a coach, so he didn't grow up around this all his life, and then he got size.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Carson Beck too. Carson Beck's solid too.
Hey,
Not my
Beck
favorite
look
guy,
good.
but not my favorite guy in the world, but sure.
He's in the top 5 right now.
He's
Man,
fit.
it's
Look,
crazy.
he's a good quarterback. I don't like his intangibles, his
Mm-hmm.
personality, his leadership, but skill set wise, yeah, he's got all the tools physically. He's
Hey,
got it.
but Brooks, y'all didn't help him out none. Your receiver didn't help him out none last year neither.
No, I'll be the first to tell you, Beck got a bad rap last year. I mean, we didn't have the skill. We didn't have the skill. The people on the outside to help him. And a lot of his slide from year 1 to year 2 at Georgia was just he didn't have the skill players. So I agree
Yeah,
with you there.
and then another thing too, he's not no high energy type guy. His demeanor is laid back. So he
Yeah.
kind of, as they would say, he's kind of aloof. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's for like I said, the intangibles with him worry me. Like, is he gonna gain the respect of people in that locker room?
Right.
Because of his personality, he's in the he's dated some high profile people. He's
Hey,
he's got
man.
the fancy car and stuff. I sometimes I just wonder if how that's going to translate in the locker room, if he's going to get the guys behind him. But I mean, nothing against his physical tools. I
Yeah.
think he's a really good quarterback.
But I tell you what, man. Hey, there's another one that we need to look at. Oh, and by the way, TB, Ohio is playing at Ohio State next week.
Oh, they are, dude. Like I said, they just beat
Yes.
West Virginia. They got a good team too. I watched some of that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep an eye on that one, at least in the first half. Colorado, the Buffaloes are at Houston next week, and I bring
Friday
them up
night.
because because it was 3 quarterbacks that played this weekend. Did you guys get to see that?
I watched it, man. And Dion didn't have to do that, but I'm glad he did for that kid, that third string guy, because he been holding it down for him, for the ever since he been at Colorado. So
Okay.
what I'm saying, Juju didn't do too good, but Salter was 15 or 13 when he took him out the game.
So do you think Coach Prime is gonna land on one quarterback?
Well, I think what he was trying to do was he was trying to say, okay, y'all guys work hard in practice, so I'm gonna give y'all a chance to play. You know what I'm saying? When it count. You know what I'm saying? They knew they kind of knew they was gonna beat Delaware. Delaware just stepped up to the big boy
FBS.
league. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he
Yeah.
knew they was out, man. Now if it would have been somebody else, I think Salter would have played the whole game.
Okay. So you think Salter's gonna be the number one for this season? Without anything else
Yeah.
unforeseen that happens.
Yeah,
Okay.
Juju ain't ready yet. He ain't ready yet.
All
And
right.
but you can't. But see, you can't put Juju at number 3. You put him at number 3, he gonna transfer. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
So
Yeah, he's
that's the
gone.
reason why he got stopped as his number 3 guy. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Prime ain't stupid now.
Yeah, and the way he
Yeah, I
got
mean,
Tampa.
yeah, you want to shuffle your quarterbacks around against Delaware. Be my guest. You want to do it against in a conference opponent, and I'm be a little bit worried now. You know,
Yeah,
so do it now. That's fine, but you start doing it during you get into the thick of the conference season. That's not a good sign.
yeah. And then this
And
thought
then
just hit me.
I'm gonna tell you another thing, man. Colorado
Mhm.
is not that good.
No.
They're not that good. They're
Yeah,
overhyped because of Prime. You know what I'm saying? They still are lacking on the defense and the offensive line. Offensive line played better. Yeah, they rushed the ball a little better yesterday. But like I say, you got to stop getting all these done transfer portal players. You got to start building something from the high school ranks. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that come up through your system. Then you know what I'm saying? You get a kid in there that been in the system 3 years, then you got yourself something. You get somebody that that played and somebody you really getting somebody else trash. You ain't getting
well,
you.
I mean, they gave up. They forced 3 turnovers in a row in that Georgia Tech game and still lost. And got Tech ran for over 300 yards on them. I mean that's
Right, right.
like you said the defense. That line. And we talked about this. That's they had the skill players just last year, and that got them. You know that made them have a pretty good season. But I mean, in the end, at some point in the interior, it's going to show up.
Yeah, they got two Alabama. They got 2 Alabama transfers in that middle, right? But both of
Mhm.
those guys had concerns about their motor. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So you didn't get Alabama top guys. You got Alabama second string guys, and they, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
mhm. Well, that's what's gonna have
If,
to
if
happen. You
you if
remember
you
Court?
if you if you got questions about your motor, and at this point in time you in college, something wrong.
Well, you remember this is what Court was talking about too when Prime first went to Colorado was like, he wants to analyze them over time. Like, say you got to get this line, you got to develop that O line and D line. You got to draft those. I mean, you got to recruit those guys, and you got to
Yeah,
build them up. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see if that theory come to fruition or not.
You got,
With this year 3 now, right?
you
Going
got.
into
yeah.
year 3.
It's
And
not
and I
just
tell
it's not just getting the guys the starters. You got to get depth.
yeah, you got to get that
Especially
depth. That's right, right.
especially on the defensive line. I mean, this was going back to the Mark Rick era. That was always my criticism with him. He just didn't build enough depth around our lines, and we 1 or 2 injuries away from having really serious holes in your either
Yeah,
defense or offense. So You got to build the depth too.
I ain't gonna lie. They got some big old rosters on their offensive line. And Seaton gonna be good. He just got to stop. He just got to stop all that holding.
Yeah, that's a mountain of a man there, Seaton. He should be playing on Sundays.
Yeah.
Oh man, hey, we didn't talk about this yet. University of Carolina and Belichick. What are your thoughts on Bill Belichick? You know, his post Patriots career thus far.
I think that man going crazy, man. I think he got all timers, dog. How you gonna ban an NFL team from coming to your facility?
Oh yeah, he says we not invited. What did he say? We're not invited to go there. They're not invited.
They can't come to ours. That's the crazy. So how your kids gonna get looked at, man? You doing this?
Yeah, you doing this? You wouldn't say out loud.
Yeah, you doing a disservice to your kids.
Man,
it's just hard because I know what kind of coach. I know how good of a coach he is, but he just seems to be inviting all these distractions into his program. Like for somebody. I mean, it's just kind of sad to see. I think it's just more too many distractions around that program with his girlfriend, and then you saw the other night it was like a celebrity, all kinds of people there, man. I'm just like, at some point, just play football and win, man. Stop all these distractions, man.
He the Shannon Sharp of coach.
Hey. Oh yeah, big shout out to Hot Tub Tony too, by the way, people. Shout out to Hot Tub Tony. He's in the house. And he says
man.
He said the young girl driving her crazy, Brooks.
She is. She running the show. She leading her dad. She leading her dad around.
Dollar Bill Belichick. There you go. But yeah, Belichick, man, and he kind of reminds me of like somebody who's, let's just say, a boxer, right? And it was one of the greatest boxers of all time or so, and then you just hang around too long, and now you're starting to fight these Butterbean and all these other guys. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of like your time is kind of pad, like, and it's not fitting in your environment. I mean, to me, he's an NFL coach anyway. And if you're gonna do it, coach an NFL team, coach the Cleveland Browns or something. You know what I mean?
I think that was the point. I don't think he got any. I don't think he got any offers from the NFL.
He did.
That's why he landed up here.
That's
I know he wanted too much control. I know he talked with the Falcons and the Falcons. So that's too much. That's too much control.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he ended up there. I mean, and that's true. Like, how are you going to give a man? He's in his 70s. So how are you going to give that man all this control? And he's on that backside of his career. I mean, you're just not going to do that.
Right. But it would have been, but the culture team, you know what I'm saying? Like a bad NFL team, that's your environment. It's kind of like it's kind of like a shark fighting a lion on land. Like, okay,
But at his age, he ain't gonna get no good NFL team.
No, that's fine. That's what I'm saying. At this point, nothing to lose for him. But at least he's coaching in his environment. NFL style football. You know what I'm saying? Versus like the collegiate game is totally different. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa.
Now, what would be wild is you dating a 24-year-old and one of your players get her. Now that'll be wild.
I just don't know if Belichick's going. I don't know if he's going to put in the effort on the recruiting side to get to build North Carolina like it needs to be built. I just don't know if he has that in him.
Yeah.
I think he's more. It's like, I'm Bill Belichick. Come play for me or not. You know who I am. I think that's more of his going to be style. And maybe he will get players based on that. But I don't think he's going to just go out and put himself out there on the recruiting trail like these other coaches are.
I think he's setting it up, Brooks. I think he's setting it up for his son. I think that's what it is.
Well, that's the word too. Is that his son is next in line once he steps out, so he could be just holding this together, getting it, just bringing everybody on board with this until then he steps aside and his son becomes the coach. That could be the long play on this. Anyway, but because to me he just doesn't seem like a college football coach. And that's
Hey,
like
Tom,
Pat Riley. That's
No,
like
it's,
Pat
it's
Riley.
weird, man. It's weird.
You know what I'm saying? That's like Pat Riley leaving the Lakers or the Knicks or whatever he was coaching Miami, and then he goes and coaches at he coaches basketball at Florida State or something. Like it's just two different worlds. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like he was saying
Some
earlier about
some people are meant to be pro coaches. Yeah.
yeah, But hey, what do I know? All right, anything else, gentlemen?
Nah, that's it for me.
Oh. Yep.
Okay.
About to get ready for this Falcons game.
Yes, sir. We need to chop it up about that. I may be texting y'all in a few minutes because we do need to talk some NFL, man. It's some interesting things that should be popping off today. Wouldn't mind getting y'all thoughts on Michael Penix Jr. You know what I'm saying? Get your thoughts on him. Yeah, I want you guys to tell me what you think about the performance of Herbert against the Chiefs, man, and things like that. So maybe we can get together and talk a little NFL before they kick off.
No doubt.
All right. Well, we're gonna sign off here for Triple Option, and we'll review the games for next week.
Okay.
We out of here.
All right, guys.